Wow, what a timing and is that it? All right, so now we do see some things shape up so we can pay attention to what's going on here and see that we did open the door to downside, but we are slowly seeing price be able to build back and potentially close that door. What we need to see is potentially a new high on the day for volatility to get it wrong. As of right now, the door to the downside still a little bit open here. As you can see, we have seen what? A high, a lower high, a lower high. If we dictate this as a lower high, that can be an open thing for us to head to the downside. One thing that I just wanted to pay attention to in this area is risk and reward. Okay, risk and reward in these type of areas. If I take a position for 2 weeks right now and I'm saying I'm going to see continued upside for a full 2 weeks, you have to really be looking at this from the perspective, and I think this clears it up as, hey, okay, if we're going to even see, let's say we're in one of those 5% moments right now, which you very well could be, and this is going to extend even higher. Okay, that means I could take something like this, but ultimately, what is going to happen after all of this is said and done if we keep trailing upward in that upward direction? We are going to most likely see the sell in May and go away moment. I don't want people to sleep on that. So your technical reward potential for this week would be that. The risk is you come back down to the middle, and you see that is much bigger of a line right now. That's the risk by the end of the week, okay? Now, if we pay attention to the 30-minute and you're not taking a 2-week option, things change, but I'm talking about how I like to do things. It's my channel, right? And so if we are curling, moving, pulling back very, very slightly, this is considered a pullback, and we have no more work to be done, well then, we are most likely going to see this cross up, curl back down and touch this, and then head to that upside. Maybe even setting a trap for Thursday in the morning, maybe after the retail hours. For the time being, the 5-minute chart is still opening up that door for more downside. We can see the lower lows coming in, lower lows coming in now, but we have not seen some kind of flush moment. This could be the building and building and building in this area to see a big move that way. Or more likely, I think, actually, is if it's not going to do it now, it's going to do it later. And ultimately, if you look on the daily scale and you look where we're at, I really think that this is to get you nice and bullish. And I think it's working. I think it's really working at this moment. So I'm not convinced by this move anymore. I think the move is done. We are thankful that we caught the move here. We're thankful that we caught the move in these areas, right? We're thankful that we broke out, but we have to understand that markets will reload at some point. So you are going into a lot of risk over the next few trading sessions. If you want to see the good trade setup going into Friday expiration, that will take place where? Still right here or right in here. If we see some kind of dramatic downfall here. It doesn't look like the market is going to give it to you at this point, so I would more so be inclined to pay attention to right here, all right? The 2-hour has not crossed yet, saying it is going to pull back. This means that the move can keep extending even if the 2-hour experiences a bad drop. You are looking for what? If you're not going to stop here and you go further, maybe even by Thursday close, I'm genuinely worried about some kind of rip away tomorrow. I think holding long in these type of areas is kind of getting on the edge of being really greedy. I mean, I can understand runners here, but I've been looking at this stuff for the last like hour or an hour throughout the day, and I'm just like, I don't see the good setup really for a 2-week option. If anything, I would say the 2-week option would be here for downside, actually. I think ultimately we are going to see some kind of rug pull from this move, and take that with a grain of salt. It's very, very bullish at this point, but the bear side has still opened up. We have not seen the new high for the day, I believe, right? No new high for the day. We have made the lower highs on the 5-minute, suggesting you are in what? Some kind of downtrend, but it's not really looking like a downtrend, is it? Why does it not look like the best downtrend? because you're kind of in this area where you keep flashing positive, flashing negative, flashing positive, flashing negative. So you're at that neutral stance right now, and you're trying to see if this is going to head up or head down. Volatility was able to give up most of the move here. The 30-minute actually dipped down a little lower to come back down into this area. That could be a retest. We are crossed down on the MACD right now. I really do see if this is going to shape up to be some kind of trap. I mean, we could see upside into the end of the day, but that would mean that this 2 hour really needs to get going. So I'm not convinced by this move at all. I think HGX is telling you something. Let me prove it. I'm thinking HGX is telling you something. Look at HGX. It did the same thing, but today it's down where? At the gap from Monday. From Friday, sorry. The gap from Monday here, it is at that. It is heading in that direction. Testing the 5. This can turn around here. That's not a good sign. XLU dropping off as well, right? Going into levels from last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. HYG is starting to back off as well. Testing that. Monday gap up. This is not the recipe for success. This is where getting calls can be an okay decision if you're like a day trader. But if you're trying to make a 2-week position here and you're expecting this to keep going, that is risky at this point. I will tell you that. That is very risky at this point. If that would happen, it would be a 0.01% move if this would continue past these type of levels. Okay? So I want to treat this very seriously. Your patience will pay off. Patience is never a bad thing unless your patience is leading you to hesitation, right? Patience should lead you into a scenario where it becomes more obvious, and then you will not be hesitating. You will see this dip down to here, and we can see the signs of using that as support and see if we can curl back up into positive territory, all right? Patience is going to be a good thing. Bipolar market, I think you have an extremely bullish market. I don't see bipolar at all. I don't see bipolar at all. I see a neutral stance for the day according to price. But as far as how people are positioned, it's bullish, 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 freaking bullish right now for at least calls, I would say, this week. You had a lot of bearishness early on in the week, and you're slowly seeing people just get squeezed out of those positions. And then I'm really convinced now that we are going to see some kind of rug pull in May. I give this to the 21st or the 20 or the I give this till next Friday with a big bit here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to mark off where I think the red flags could really start to actually affect the market. And by red flags, I mean volatility not breaking to a new low. By a red flag, I mean actually NVIDIA making this kind of move. I think this is a red flag. It's really euphoric. I think the red flag is HGX. I think that is just a blatant red flag right there. So be aware of that. XLU, I think this is a blatant red flag. The dollar, I think that's a blatant red flag. HYG, I think this is a blatant red flag that you are going to see at the end of all this. Most likely, if you keep going higher, I really do believe that you are going to get some kind of rug pull. I think the 2-hour pullback is coming. I think that today being a positive day, I will look how it shapes up by the end of the day. But if this leaks out and keeps building here and you see a big move like this into the end of the day, that would be the scariest scenario for now. I don't see that happening right now, right? Bulls are trying to hold price. They are trying to get that new high so that they can keep the bullishness going. But if this ends up being a trap, you have to be aware that the risk to reward for upside is against you. You have a lot more risk of downside than you do of upside, all right? I just want to be very clear with that. This market can go higher. I will be practicing my patience very thoroughly here and potentially looking for the short going into 3 dates. There are 3 dates that I'm paying attention to for a potential short, a potential very good maybe risk reward, and if we see the setup for it, we will mention it. That would be Friday at the end of the day. The next date I would like to pay attention to is Wednesday OpEx for the VIX at the end of the day. And then the next day I would pay attention to is Friday at the end of the day. Those are the 3 dates that I'm looking for the setup. All right, so if I see the setup around any of those 3 dates, I will be watching. For the time being, if you didn't know if there was any weakness here, you're like, hey, the 30-minute looks good. It does look good, and the only thing that is showing is the XPX 500 has the 2-hour divergence, which equates to about a 30-minute divergence for the SPY. This 2-hour divergence here is there, but it is very far away from the center line. So we could have one more push left, one more euphoric buy before something bad happens. I am not convinced whatsoever to buy at this point. I think you could see it. I genuinely think that we will this week at some point. I think we'll see 590. If it's right now, I think you're in for that pulling back. And then we head up into the 21st, and then that could be a big problem. I just wanted to talk about this here, give my genuine, just my opinion, how I'm paying attention to it, when I would be looking for the opportunity. It is still right here. It is still right down here. And then the opportunity to short, I am looking for the signs right here. And I will notify you about that. Patreon members, we talked a little bit. I posted the NVIDIA thing going on right now. NVIDIA does have some weakness and momentum, but the 30-minute is so far away from the center line. How you would look at this so far is just look at your 2-hour chart and tell me when the next obvious opportunity is, the real opportunity, not some day trade, some 2-week, some 2-week option. Well, the opportunity would be people get euphoric here, and then it drops all the way back down into here. That is the next opportunity in my mind for NVIDIA. That would lead you into possibly even next Friday. I think you're going to see some interesting things over the next couple trading sessions with the warning flags shaping up. I wanted to bring them to your attention. I want you to understand that the market can remain irrational. Even with those warning signs, the market can remain irrational. I'm not necessarily encouraging shorting a short squeeze, but I will look for those opportunities towards the end of the week. Yeah, I'm getting pretty much, I'm like, what's the right phrasing for this? Trying to think of the right phrasing for this. Hold on. Let me think about it. I am noticing how they could trick a lot of people who don't have a lot of skills understanding how markets move. And it looks like they're doing everything in the book to do so. So I'm not going to play that game, right? I'm not going to play that game of trying to see if this and that and this and that and risk money, risk money, risk money. No, I'm going to wait and make them make it obvious, because it will be obvious at the end of it all. I think it will be. Right now, we are seeing volatility turn down, saying 30-minute going negative here, not showing too much good. But we are not seeing a breakout to a new high just yet. We are not seeing volatility break to a new low from these points in here, actually. I believe it was these points in here. Yeah, it was this one right here. We never made the new high like the SPY did. Very cool. Cautious optimism. I think there will be another buy opportunity. I'm just worried about how they're shaping things up. And if you're not practicing patience here, and you're not like a day trader, if you're not practicing patience here and you make some kind of massive play and it just flips down, and you're like, massive play is to the upside and it just flips down, it's going to be bad. And then if you make the massive play to the downside and you're not able to hold through this, then it's going to be bad. It's going to look rough, right? Because you're going to maybe sell right here when it actually wants to dump. I think that this could be building. I think this could be building, though. I think this could be building, and then we shoot down. And then I think we do a retest, and then we go down lower. And then Friday, we might see just some kind of open up with a gap or something like that. We'll see. It might take into next week, though. Good afternoon, Bernie. How you doing today? Jake, I don't mind that comment. Sorry. One dip below 555 would not concern me 555 would not concern me. What would concern me is actually 545, right? 545 down in here. This would give me concern, right? We can wipe this out. We can wipe 550 out a little bit, but once you start playing around with like, okay, let's say we do this, then we get that kind of maybe this is all we get, right? Let's just take it into consideration. We don't know exactly when this would stop, and we have 3 dates to pay attention to. We're going to look around those dates. Then you see some kind of massive rundown for like 2 weeks. Because the sell in May, right? I'm still talking about sell in May. Let me take a second to think. Yeah, I'm still thinking sell in May. And then around here, you get that bounce that fails, and then maybe early June, you start to come back. And then this is the push to test all-time highs. That's how I see it right now. You're going to need the daily retrace. You're going to need the daily higher low. You have yet to set up a daily higher low to tell you if this thing is going to go higher. You do see a peak above this level, which means that the market probably really wants to go higher. But do you see how getting up there, people can be convinced crash if you come down to 550. I don't want to see this taken out. I really don't want to see this into this into this. That's what I don't want to see. And that would be after the red lines, by the way. So we'll watch kind of a just sit around kind of day. Sit. Doot, 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 doot. Where did we open? Are we just completely flat? Pretty much. The June swoon. I like that, Jake. I kind of like that. What's going to cause the downturn? It seems like they release good news every week. It's one, if good news is priced in. Two, if anything. You guys, news is able to cause a 5% little correction from a data drop that really has like one little data drop. And then they tell you, and then they'll do a 5% correction on just the news that the Fed is speaking at, say, FOMC. And people sell for 3 days before FOMC, causing a 5% downturn, and then it just goes up after a retest, right? So, you know, they can manipulate whatever they want, and we know that the news is part of that engine. So once you start to see downturn, if you see the news pile on to that downturn, just pile on, this is what's happening, Pakistan, freaking the yields. They could talk about yields right now. They could talk about the bond market. The bond market alone is a reason to potentially, you know, correct by 10% right now. I actually think the bond market, by the way, I actually think that we're going to see yields back off for a bit, which is very interesting to me. I think you're going to see yields back off for a bit. You're getting a bunch of 2-hour divergence in here. If we don't violate that right now, I think you're going to see these yields back off. For what? Well, you would hope that they just fail this entire thing. You want them to fail this entire thing. Because if this just backs off and keeps going, that might be a little bit rough. That might be pretty rough in the bond market, okay? Like the bond market alone, TLT, bonds alone can be a problem here. You see that, right? Like you see this. Is that good or bad, right? Like, come on. Want that call, a bunch of TLT. I wouldn't expect more than, as of right now, I would look for what you see up at this level, 8708. I'm hoping that we can get this up to 8879, 8880. I think that would be really good. That would take back a lot of this price action. I just don't want to lose this low. If you lose this low, we talked about this and we said most likely, hey, you're going to see this stuff continue. You need to get down to that monthly expected move. Guess where you go? Yeah, guess where you're at? Guess what? Hey, you might need to get to that monthly expected move. We literally said that like, what, yesterday? 2 days ago? Well, guess what? Guess what TLT's at right now? Little hint. It can get worse from there, but right now you're seeing some interesting things from the opposite side of that being the 10-year yield. So I think you get a bounce here from TLT. Why would TLT bounce all of a sudden? Are we going to see the rotation from here? What's going to happen? You know, what does it mean for stocks? Does it mean you see a little bounce in TLT and you see a little bit of that? We might need to buy. We might need to go into bonds. We might need to go in bonds, guys. We might want to. We might not want to be in these assets. Let's take a look at like other things too. Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. A great daily move for Bitcoin. What have you yet to see? What have you not seen from the daily scale? You seriously have not seen a higher low. I know that's crazy, but from this look right now, you have not seen a definitive higher low on the daily scale. We have gone up almost exactly to where we were targeting. We were targeting more so 100,000 with the awareness that if this was going to cross through and see some strength, we could get to like 106,212. That is very, very bullish. But you need to dictate a higher low. So if you need Bitcoin to dictate a higher low, then aren't you going to see like a week, at least a week of some kind of downward price action? I would say so. Now, we looked at this 4 hour and we were looking at it going, hey, we might need a divergence. What did the 4 hour do so far? Well, so far you're stuck seeing if you can go to that upside. But as of right now, actually, I think it was 2 hour chart shows it better. As of right now, what you did, you dictated a low, right? Pretty bad one because you came below all of this. Then you go up to retest. You go up to retest. We retest, we fail to make the new high, right? And now we drop down and we start to lose the center. Let's watch this. Let's see if it adds up. We take the high. We'll take the good resistance and support levels, and you draw it up. I did not do this at all. This is the first time I'm looking at it. You show the way lower. You then go up, reacting to this level. You want to see the new high if it's going to flip back to bullish. You're pulling back, and now you're waiting to see if that new low comes, and now you're starting that pullback. But if you can do this first, then you can hold up better. So as of right now, you peaked your head up here, so you got to be aware that this still can remain in this zone and end up bullish at the end of the day. But this is saying there's a lot of risk here now because you failed to make the new high on this push. And then you see it break down, and what does it do at the center? Resistance. So this is very important now for it to show you the new low, and then you will start to see that downtrend. And I think you will potentially set up a daily higher low in the next 2 weeks. I wonder if Bitcoin just rips off, but I think you are likely to see a daily higher low. I would say towards the end of May, even if you get upside first, right? We're still seeing if this can happen. But if you get that to come down, I would dip down into here towards the end of May. And then I would try to curl that thing back up, giving you the structure. So that's how I'm looking at it, right? And I'm looking at Bitcoin and I'm going, this thing hasn't done it. Dow is not happy today. Did you guys notice that? DIA curling down a little bit more than other things. This could be potential actually opportunity right now. We'll see if that's able to shape up. But if that curls up, ooh, retest goes successful. If you don't fail up in here, then you can go higher, right? The SPY is holding sideways, so I wouldn't even think as much positivity comes into the SPY. Yeah, there's a lot going out there. There's a way to head a little bit higher. Even all the way to 595, 592. I'm not going to play that type of move, though. Think you can take a look at that chart. I think your recipe for success is still there, but you are at, this is why we updated this morning, 29.54. You are at the battle zone. This is very good for GME. You know, GME does do this before it pops off. You just want to see it win this battle. Because you lost this battle multiple times. You lost it here. You lost it here. You lost it, I believe, right here. And then the big loss was here. This was the best opportunity for GME. And then we said, but watch those signals. You're at the battle zone. Boom. And look where that $33 is. The next battle zone is right there for this month. This will change. This green line will change. So you're in a battle zone. which tells me something, right? If I'm not in here and able to take some kind of profit here, well, then I need to make sure that that position size is comfortable because things can get ugly over the next few weeks. And do you know what you have in the next few weeks, which is something that usually likes to, cause some turbulence in the market? You have earnings. It's not in the next 2 weeks. It's like 3 weeks. But you have earnings coming up, right? At the end of June. I actually think this would be great if the market pulled back dramatically for 2 weeks or a week and a half, something like that here, and GME started to pop off and they had their run for a few weeks. I think that'd be great. But as far as GME goes, the way to do GME is you invest at times where you see great signals. Thank you for the daily divergence. Thank you for the 2-hour divergence. Thank you for the entry point. And then you have good price. I could sell a little bit here to take profit and do what? Leave runners. Same thing we do on other stocks. We do the same behavior here for GME. If you are just invested in this for the good moment, you're looking for those good moments where things look like they could turn around, and this could be a good sign. And you saw one of those moments right back here. We mentioned it multiple times. GME showed the pathway higher before the SPY did. GME showed the downfall before the SPY did. GME showed this, and nothing really happened in the SPY, though, so I would take that with a grain of salt. The way to play GME is like my dad's buddies who buy the cheap stocks. They don't really care. They use an amount of money that's not going to ruin their life or ruin their weekend. They just say, hey, I'll throw, $2,000 at this and hold on to it for the next 5 years. And if it ever sees that run up to $400 or $200 or $100, I'll take a 3x. I'll take a 5x. I'll take a 7x, right? But if it goes to zero, $2,000 to me wouldn't be something that hurts my weekend, right? If I lost all of that and this thing went to zero, then I would. Now, this thing isn't going to zero, by the way. Don't believe anyone that tells you it is. This is not going to zero. This stock has tons of cash. They do not have debt. They just closed out. They're changing their business structure and doing all that stuff. It's not going to zero. Now, you have to take that into consideration of they still have to produce good things over time as a business. So I would take that into consideration. SPY still not showing that pathway higher yet for the day. They are not AMC, Richard. That's funny. Clearly, GME is driving the overall market. The craziest part about that comment, Robert, is you can't tell, but if that problem is real, that statement could be correct. Pretty interesting. Yeah, let's go look at, what was it, Boeing? Boeing, we actually liked Boeing a long time ago. We liked Boeing a long time ago. We didn't like this fake out, but we noticed down at these type of levels, it failed. See if it can buy back. And then I believe daily even showed something as well. There's your flat daily divergence. Daily pops up here. It curls up to the upside, and then it gets a nice deal, right? It gets some kind of deal or something like that, or probably reading into Pakistan BS, whatever it is. For the monthly scale, right? I like to talk about this one more on the investment side. The monthly has just curled up, which means over the next few months, you have the opportunity to break through here, retest, break through more. Yeah, this could be a good hold into 2026. As long as the breakout goes well, right? You want to be looking at those shorter time frames, seeing if it rolls down over here on the weekly. Yeah. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty, if you were just paying attention, look at this, 2016. Bam. Investment-wise, Boeing still looks good. Their planes don't, but their stock is doing all right. Their planes look a little rough, but some of the stuff with Boeing planes is a little rough. I watched those funny movie trailers, and it was doing the Final Destination. It was like, this guy finds out what flying in a Boeing plane feels like, and it's like the plane exploding. Boeing planes. I know when I've spoken. I've physically shook the hand, spoken to, went to a wedding with one of the higher ups, one of the people making $800,000 a year from Boeing. I met the guy. I will tell you one thing about him. He's a douche. That's all you need to know. He's a douche. Yeah, no. So investment wise, it looks like a potentially good investment at a good level that could see some upside for the next 12 to 24 months, as long as everything goes well in that consolidative pennant. I would more lean towards SPY going down into tomorrow, though. Just take that with a grain. That does not mean I'm saying, oh, good trades. We did post the, potential risk to reward type of play for Nvidia. You're just looking for something little to here or all the way down to here, and this would be considered little. This would be considered little for a 2-hour with how good this move has been. So I would love to see that. Like I said, this is my risk to reward fun play. It is I kind of showed it off on Patreon. Why? And we have the other levels up for Patreon members over there. VIX still refusing. Let's see. Will VIX do this little fake out thing? I'll pay attention on my other screen to volatility. SPY downtrend for now, but it's very tight. You see it almost like a flag, right? Very tight. So we're looking for break up, boom, boom, if you're going to go higher. If you're going to go lower, you kind of open those doors right now. Disney, bruh. Disney. I haven't looked at for a while. Did it give you anything down here? Not really. Oh, just an earnings thing. You're going to take care of that earnings gap. You could get rejected here very simply. If you make a new high, that'd be different, right? If you see this extend past like 119.10, 119, for now, take the high into all these lows. Bam. Oh, you're there. Okay, perfect. So you were right at the point where you kind of figure out like, hey, are we just going to reject from here and just go boom? This is pretty good to take this back. This gives you a shot. I would be drawing this up. This could be the next opportunity, actually, if it's a little smaller. To go to the top side, right? You're kind of stuck between two, it's the case a lot of the time. But notice you gap to here. That's very important. And then you stopped here and you gap to here. So I think you're bound to, you could see this continue, right? But I think more so the opportunity would be down in this box. And then if you lose that box, right, it's kind of like this. Do this, roll it, get into here, and then you'll find out if you're going lower or not. Because if you're going if this is not just a retest to go higher, if that retest, say, fails, then you'll make the new low, and you might see that rally that gets you all excited, and then you just reject again. So Disney, I'm not like against Disney. I think at these levels, it looks pretty damn good, and we're going kind of micro with it. If you're looking at investment, I mean, you have the same price from January 15th all the way to potentially COVID lows, all the way to potentially 2023 lows right there. Did not lose that either. Look at this. Did not make the new low. And that was an important retest because you lost this wick just barely. So that was a very important 2 retest. They were really making sure. So I would say that I'm leaning towards Disney being a good investment. I think you might go through turbulence over the next few weeks, though, for like all stocks. I think almost all stocks will see turbulence over the next 2 weeks. That's how I'm seeing it. Volatility still positive. People are extremely bullish. I like this. I just think it needs that retrace first. I would like this into that, and then you don't look back. I would like this into that, and you don't look back. If you're lucky, maybe it holds up like that. It's something a little lighter. It's not done with the move. We'll see. It's like a 2-hour. Yeah, it's not done with the move, though. You might see this first. Maybe even shows the way higher. Then it comes down. Then we go up. But overall, if you're saying investment in Disney, I mean, if you get another GIF down towards below sub 100, I would say that's a pretty good investment. Yeah, I don't see the form of breaking down. You just really want to watch this. You don't want to mess around with it. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, I want to hold this if it breaks 79. That's a problem. I mean, look over here. 1, 2, 3, almost 4. Yeah, I think that's where it gets scarier. It hasn't shown you the pathway down for the week for the monthly yet, though. Yeah, this all maybe I don't know if we get to all-time highs here. Hold on. I don't think we get to all-time highs. There. And then there. You got to make it through both of these. And that means the monthly will have to be like, and you could break down from literally right here or literally all the way up here in like 2026, 2027. Rough. How's the SPY doing now, folks? 5 minute doing what the 5 minute needs to do. Yields up means that the bonds are being sold. Up for yields means down for bonds. Down for yields means up for bonds. Spotify, I did see some people mention that a few times here. This is a retest. That's a retest. Yeah, so Spotify, you didn't lose the 2-hour low, but I think you go for another push here. You're trying. You're really trying to hold price here. You're seeing the highs. That's good. You're seeing the lows. Even here, that's good. Why am I leaning towards a retest of lower before you go higher? Because you've lost the low. So if you can dictate where this high is, come down into here and see if you lose these wicks. I would even put a zone around those wicks, by the way. I would take the low of the bars and take that and just go like this and say, if we lose that, I'm not happy. Look for a retest in here. I think that would be better. Let's look at the daily scale here. Yeah, you see how this could be worse. 2 hour, where's that 2 hour higher low? Okay, it'd be right here. So if this dictates 2 hour, if the 2 hour is able to cross up, good things. 2 hour can do this, and you don't fail in here. You show that new high, retest, and go. If this is going to come back past this, I would seriously be watching for the retest here. Right here. And I'd probably mark it off like this, actually. That. This is a different kind of zone, by the way. These are different than what we're normally talking about these days. Not just blocks. This is retesting a low. You do that a lot of the time. This would be the daily retest. Oh, this is good, though. Okay, this is good. This is actually good for Spotify. High, higher high. What has the daily done? It's shown you the pathway higher. It's shown you the pathway higher. Now, if we drag this out, this is going to make even more sense probably, right? Wow, that actually makes a lot of sense now. Okay, cool. I think the best case for Spotify as far as a great, say, buy would be down towards, I would say 550. If you break through, if you see this opportunity, this is probably best case. You might do this first, then you come down 550, and then you look for that MACD being like, no, we rejected for a second. Okay, we pulled down, and then you see if that bad boy can curl up. I like that price. Yeah, for if you're talking about investing wise, maybe even option. We'll look. Actually, if we see the big drop and you're paying attention to Spotify, just keep paying attention to it for me, and we'll take another look if we're in this zone to see if something sets up. It might even be able to be an option play. Qs seeing more upside than the SPY. Qs have reached up higher. The SPY lagging behind. Now we're failing. That'd be sick, Raja. Have you guys seen those parks? Have you guys seen some parks in like Japan and stuff like that? Have you seen like the Nintendo park? Dude, look it up on YouTube. It's such a fun thing to see. I mean, sometimes the YouTubers who actually go there kind of suck, but it's really cool to see. You just got to mute it. What if Nvidia doesn't go down before its earnings? Then I would be running away and taking that get out of jail free card. I will. I'll tell you this. It is. Yeah, I'm hesitant to say it. I'm like 95% sure that Nvidia will not run all the way into earnings. I'm 95% sure that before earnings you will see some kind of big daily retracement. All right. Even if it's like, it's reminding me of this. This is what I'm saying. It's reminding me of this right now. Like something like this. I think because we've extended higher, I don't think you like revisit here. It's possible. But it's more so saying like, okay, we can do this, then this. And then maybe earnings time, we'll have to see. I am not a buyer of Nvidia here. There's no way in hell you would convince me to buy Nvidia here with the monthly expected moves and the weekly expected moves. We talked about Nvidia with the higher low. We talked about Nvidia breaking through 114. So and then we gapped above most of the zone, right? So where are you probably reaching up towards? You're probably reaching up to here. But doing that in one shot, risky, dude. Risky. All right, let's see if the SPY can curl up towards the end of the day here, right? Where is that MACD? Now it is by that center line. So if it curls up, we should expect positivity. Well, I haven't looked at AMD recently. It's in the same scenario, guys. Same scenario. This is great. This is great. This is very bullish for AMD. Very bullish, and I think it might continue. I think this is all it needs. Go higher. And then we look for, actually, this might just do some nonsense into OpEx. I don't even know if you see 2-hour divergence for this drop. I think it might just be a rug. This might just be a rug. Like here. See this? Boom, boom, boom. And that might be done. I mean, look at that. 30-minute, though, looks pretty damn positive, so it's rough to say it's done. I think it's got one more push in it. I'd like to see it back off more, fill the gap, turn up, and then I would say we're watching out for Monday. This is very good for AMD, by the way. This is very good. We wanted to break out of the top of the zone. We want that to now do whatever it wants up here. We're not saying, oh, yes, it's easy to short, it's easy to short. It's hard to tell when it's going to stop. I think it's going to stop sooner rather than later, but we'll talk about that as things form. We don't see any formation yet. And I think whatever it wants to do up here, it's going to end up testing here. If not, scooping down a little lower, take care of some gaps, and then turn to the upside. And this is your real run. AMD, I'm always hesitant to say like it's going to run, but that's what it shapes up to right here. Daily scale, you can see overbought. So you're looking for that daily pullback. You're looking for the daily high or low. It can be a rejection. So you're kind of looking for that slow bleed into down in these areas. Right here, I think. Yeah, right here. 96.62 would be great. Take care of everything. Everyone gives up on it, and it just spikes right back up. That's what I would like to see. It's positive, right? So we're not leaning towards negativity. We're not leaning towards this. We would have to see a little bit more. We would have to see more price action. That is not on the table right now. This getting beat is not on the table. Unless GME squeezes. We don't know how that would affect the market at this point. Liquidity might be drying up. SPY is big. Facts. Everyone wants to look at United Health all the time. We looked at this like 2 days ago. I keep saying I think it's going to bounce from these levels, right? It was down here when I said it. It bounced. Okay, cool. That's probably lucky to call. Now you actually have this flatness right at the beginning stages of the zone. Is this a short right now? No. I want to take into consideration here. If you saw a bullish move just straight up like this, is this the place where it's a good buy? Or is like down here the good place where it's a good buy? And I know that you can't see the short or anything like that in that area. It's earnings. Now this is buying high. You want to buy low. So shorting here is the opposite of buying low. Shorting here is kind of you're trying to you think that because you've seen blood that it's going to be easy to catch more blood, which is exactly what the market makers, which is exactly what Wall Street wants you to think. And the truth of the matter is, you're probably going to see what? You're probably going to see like a 2-hour bounce. Then you're going to see that fail. Then you're going to see that turn back around. And then this is where you have the actual potential opportunity for a bounce, for a daily bounce. Okay? If you want the daily bounce, let it show you the daily bounce. UNH should only be talked about in context of investment at this point. There is no option play with the price action you have right now. You are seeing something ugly and you want it to get uglier because it seems risk-free because it keeps dropping. That's not how it works. If that worked, we would be rich. We would be rich because every single time the market showed us a move like this, we could buy calls and it would continue. The least likely thing is for it to continue right now. Like, do that. That is like the least likely thing to happen. If it does and you take that option, you'll get pretty rich because nobody will see that coming and nobody is buying, or well, people are probably buying that right now, right at the wrong time. The point of these type of moves is to get you to think at the top that this is all safe now. And now Jim Cramer is going to say, buy NVIDIA. Let's look. What's Jimmy been saying? I haven't looked at him in like 6 months. Let's read some of Jimmy's comments here. Oh, now he's talking about AppLovin. He's bullish on Disney right now. Means pullback's probably coming. He is saying bullish things about NVIDIA as it is experiencing a 1% move. He finally says bullish things about NVIDIA. I want to see the actual. So he said to buy yesterday, NVIDIA. And he was right. If you don't know about Cramer, how Cramer works is he tells you it's awful. Then here he tells you it's still awful. Then here he tells you it's still awful. Then here he tells you it's good. And then it goes up a little bit more. He tells you it's still good. Then it goes up just a tiny bit. Then it falls. That's how Cramer works. And then he won't say anything. Then he won't say anything about it. He'll actually probably still tell you to buy during the downfall without paying attention to actual levels. His timing is just terrible. I think it's terrible on purpose. Slow bleed. This is kind of actually, remember what we said this morning? We're like, I kind of want the slow bleed. If you're going to only come back to here, you kind of want the slow bleed. Thursday could get wild now. I think Thursday gets a little nutty pulling in that IV. Let's look at IV. Let's look at the, what are we at? 586. Yes, okay, sub 20%. Sub 20% tomorrow. 18% for tomorrow. That means that these moves are going to be kind of looking like today. And that means if we get anything surprising, that would affect the market. VIX will go up. I agree with you. I don't know if the one more push here is going to mess with volatility. During this push upside, you saw volatility react the other way. We give away. You can use the full technical analysis course will teach you a way to make daily expected moves, but we give them out every night. If we have a YouTube video, we give them out every night. Every single morning, we give them out for the day. You can't make them until after hours. The 50 and the 200 are fun to look at. They are not an end all be all thing unless you're like an investor maybe. But yes, I use a 50 and a 200. I just do not keep them up on the screen because I wanted to talk about that. When did we take these off? You guys remember? We took the 200 off while everyone was saying all the bearish things in here. Do you remember my tone? I was like, I will take away all of the bearish arguments here because there's nothing bearish in here. Right? There's nothing bearish here. You can go back and watch the video. Nothing is bearish. We said positive, positive, positive. And I said, let me delete everything that everyone is using to talk bearish about this market right now. Okay, boom, it's gone. We could retest that level. That would make sense. Retest into the zone. But it's more important to understand what is happening around the 200 is what matters. What is the price action doing around the 200? That's what matters. Oh, the death cross. Oh, okay. Well, we bottom on the death cross, just like we talked about. You're either bottoming now, or if on the death cross, you're either bottoming right then or within the next 30 days. That is a most of the time kind of stat. So I would just say, moving averages are great. I think you can pay attention to them. I think it's fine to understand, but if you just throw all your skills out the window and say we hit the 200, it's going to keep you from making good decisions, right? If you thought that we were going to reject off the 200, then you went short in this. Nothing about that is bearish. Nothing about this is short. Yeah, I'm gonna have a stern tone about the market these days. Because this market's trying to trick people. I don't like that. I don't like that. And one thing that we can always keep in mind, Patreon members, where are we? Where could we get? Is that a great opportunity to buy halfway through the month? The crazy thing for me is the Elliott wave, because technically you only want a 3 push, right? And 3 is extending. 3 is really extending, I think. Daily, this could all be a 1. This could be 2. And then this is 3. And where does 3 take you? Hey! All-time highs. That's your bull run, if you get it. We'll see if everything holds up in there, right? The market can do crazy things. Well, the fact that we're saying that is just, stupid market. Impulses are 5 wave. Okay, so you want a 5, well, impulses are 3, so corrections are 3, correct? Am I getting that wrong? Corrections are 3 wave. Yes, okay. Yeah. So you would say a 5 push higher from that base makes the most sense according to Elliott wave. I don't utilize Elliott wave, but I can understand it enough, right? So you would want the 5 push higher in this overall move, which means good things. Big push, small push down. Big push, small test down. Big push. Ooh, I don't know. Then we correct. August, right? July to August. Then you correct. Maybe even take care of gap. No, that's too deep. That's too deep. So you just want 1, 2, 3 here then. And then same place, hold up better. And then you do a 3 push higher, and then you're done. That's me reading into Elliott Wave. Something I'm not very good at, so take that with a grain of salt. So I maybe will go 90-degree up and 90-degree crash soon. Really? I would say after a retest, I'd be kind of with you on that YS. With no pullback? Ooh. You gotta see those deals get done. That means you get the that means you get the buy in May and pray. let's say that one. That means you get the buy in whatever price in May and kneel down and pray. They'll inject liquidity to kind of like keep the bonds from going to critical levels. It can go all the way down to 82. If you want to see my buy point always for TLT, I haven't been doing TLT investments, by the way. I did my TLT investment way back here. And then remember we were selling throughout here. And then I did it here. And then I sold throughout, actually I sold early in here. And then it went up and I said, I'm waiting. So if it ever comes back to 82.50, I just buy it with my eyes closed. It's kind of like, it's kind of fake though. It's just money pumping. Fake money pumping, pretty much. We've got 590 puts. Trying to think in this area. I would rather have a month out put here than a month out call right now. I know saying that can encourage people to do stuff. I'm not encouraging you guys to do anything. You can ruin positions, right? That's why I reposition pretty often. Because I still think you can see this, and if Trump just says like, hey, all of those deals are coming through, you're going to see one little spike down probably. You won't get the full pullback like YS is suggesting, that you could just go vertical. If you went vertical from here, you will get some kind of pullback to retest the breakout of all-time highs. If you go absolutely vertical, you will retest into this area up here. If you break out to here, you will retest. And then you'll see another vertical move. That's how I see it, YS. I think you'll retest the all-time high if you break through it. But you could break through it. And then you're talking about speeding up the timeline. That really speeds up my timeline. Because there's no way you go vertical for 2 moves all the way. Well, then I don't want to say no way, right? Is that, I mean, I'm just saying, wise man. I like your thoughts. I like to pick the brain. If this put loses either way, I'm entering another put. If we get another leg up, highly unlikely it evens out and goes up again. I still think waiting till like a Friday, waiting till the 21st, or waiting till the 23rd is the better timing. But like if this ends up happening, it'll be a good play. Like it makes sense to me. They need the PCC lower, need more complacency. Bruh. It's been low. It's been low, but you might be right. They might want it to continue for a while. Soak it in, rip it away. We at least want to see like the you are seeing the chinks in the armor. You're seeing the HGX, you're seeing XLU, the dollar backing off seriously, HYG backing off seriously, TLT backing off the entire move. Yeah, so I'm talking about you're going to form it by this point. This is the extended point, so that means you are going to see this, then you're going to see this, then you're going to rip up, then you're going to continue, and then you fall. That's kind of how that looks in my mind. It never comes out the way you draw it up. You know, look at Qualcomm real quick. Wait, is that what that even is? Yay! I was like, QCOM, that's got to be Qualcomm, right? Okay, you've never seen the way higher throughout this. Hopefully it shows you the way higher. You can pull it back. Hopefully it shows you the way higher you hold price. That would be good. Let's just look at the 2 hour and take this basically, though. Even if this went like this, is this a good decision? Or is that highly likely to be a trap? There's your trap potential. That is your, like, that's your crazy trap there. Yeah, that's your trap in there. You might have it right now, but you actually would rather see the trap now, I think. I think you would rather see this now. Yeah, I think you'd rather see this now. Then you show that move above. Then you come back down into it and you curl up. That would be the best way to head higher. That means the 2 hour is going to back down and then curl up. And then you're going to see a bigger sell, right? This would be how much percent? If you do it now, that would be best case 4.5 versus breakout. Let's do slightly above 7% drop here. Damn, maybe we just, do we blow off in May? Do we just blow off top now? For Qualcomm? That'd be interesting. You need to retest in here at some point. Whether it's now, that would be better. If it's later, ooh, that's some big ass moves. I would still say from the 2 hour perspective, it's not like, oh, a ton, like it can, right? But it's just, is it looking like it needs to retrace? You know, from the 2 hour perspective, you would rather be like, okay, that would be the opportunity. I'd try to keep it simple. I think the 2 hour was like crossing in something, but you're not seeing a close below these moving averages. One of the indices I think was crossing on a 2 hour. Uh-oh. What do we got? We got 30 minutes left. Should we go 5 minute? Damn, I'm surprised actually. It's a back and forth game though here. The thing you do know is the Bulls aren't in full control just yet. For today, right? Oh yeah, we got PPI tomorrow, huh? PPI prediction. I will say PPI comes in directly at I'm gonna say directly at 0.1. That's my guess. That is a guess. Retail sales is supposed to go dramatically down. Retail sales could be the reason for a big sell-off too. Initial jobless claims tomorrow as well. PPI, whatever. I'd more pay attention to retail sales. I think retail sales is supposed to come in. It was positive 1.5, supposed to come in at forecasted to negative 0.1 or 0. I would love to see negative 0.5. That would cause the pullback. And because of the elevation of stocks, it can be more dramatic than you think. We'll see if it holds up in one of our 2 points. I'm not saying downside is guaranteed, but that is something that could cause downside. I have no idea what that number comes out at. The thing for me is the SPY never making a new high today. The Qs were able to, showing that's showing just straight up squeeze behavior. Damn, you had to retest the high. You failed the retest. So bulls have the hope if you come down to here and retest and it goes well. If you start to lose this, you're just looking like more and more. That'd take you down into Friday, though. I don't know if I'm leaning towards that. Still like the zone. Or tomorrow, whatever tomorrow's daily expected move. I like that daily expected move. All right, here we go. Come on, SPY. Lose the low. Keep the pathway to downside open. Don't open the door to upside, and we can get a nice pullback tomorrow. Pullback did start today. This is pullback. This is pullback with time and a little bit of price, just barely with price. VIX made a higher low on the 30-minute. VIX, the big thing for VIX was this. The huge thing for VIX was actually this moment. That was huge. And then the 30-minute is making the higher low. You are correct. Yes, you can say that is a higher low now. Don't like that too much. We need to see the new high. I want new high in the aftermarket or during market out, like right by the end of the day. We just want to see the pathway. Even if it goes like this and wicks down, we just want to have that open. What's our boy NVIDIA doing at the end here? Ooh, trying to roll it. Trying. I would expect, some turbulence at 120, 130. And then if you make it all the way down to here, that would be, whew. I would expect a wick to come in down there. If you make it there. Ah, damn, bulls might step in here. They can step in anywhere before this area or see a wick into this area. OPEX week never disappoints. More low volume, wacky price action, fake print on the SPY down to 520 could be telling us something. Could be. Could be. That would be the more recession. 520 is pretty damn deep. 510, losing 5, I think it's 505 or 510. Losing those opens the door for more recession priced in, like pricing in. Pricing in, meaning you go lower. Plummet. Milky Fade wants it to plummet. Thanks again, Laws. Appreciate it. It never disappoints. Actually, OPEX lately has been kind of like, well, at least like more so than not. It's been kind of dry. It's been kind of like everyone risks millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars, and then it just kind of like makes an up move, makes a down move, stays in the daily expected move on Friday. So we'll see. That's why I'm kind of open to this extending on Monday, but I'm not willing to hold longs at all over the weekend. With what we've seen, I am not confident to hold longs at all over the weekend. I think you're sitting back. At least me. You guys do what you got to do. Scratch the itch, but me, that itch hasn't gotten bad enough yet. It got bad enough for the fun account, but it didn't get bad enough to actually risk like 5K anywhere. Butnick said Monday trade deal when Trump comes back. Woo! Let's go, John. Well, then we want to pull back deep into Friday. We want to pull back deep into Friday if that's the case. At least my NVIDIA short is printing. Hey, that's nice. Timing must have been good there, huh? My timing wasn't as good. But I'm fun accounting it. I always let the fun account ones just run. I don't really care about them. Any news for tomorrow? Data, PPI, retail sales. I'm mainly going to watch retail sales. We'll look at that in the morning. Today is what, Wednesday? Okay, so no full daily expect. We will be putting out on Patreon the daily expected moves and second standard deviations for Friday onto Patreon. Yep. Yeah, NVIDIA's crazy. I'm gonna go look at that again. You just look at that 2 hour and you're like, all right, give me the 2 hour higher low. And the thing is, that higher low could be it could be anywhere from 116 all the way to 130. That's how big of an area you have to make a higher low. It's gonna be May. We'll look at the daily expected moves for tomorrow, but as far as the zones you're paying attention to, if you get bad data and you drop, you're looking here, and you're looking about here, like 570. But I would just say this. This is the way to put it. How low can you go? It's such a big zone that I know you're gonna think like, ah, crap, like that doesn't give me too much edge, but it literally is like this. That whole box is where you will look for the higher low. That's how big it is. That's how much this thing has run. And you've gone sideways. So you are building liquidity for either a pop or a drop. And since you have built the liquidity, I'm actually leaning towards something like this. So I will be putting out the, I'll do this in tonight's video. I'll put the 95% line. I'll do the second standard deviation. I'll give that out during tonight's YouTube video, okay? So everyone here, even if you're not a Patreon member, I'll give it to you. Don't worry about it. Remember, the opportunities are still for upside, downside. You got to be quick with it, right? If you see this, it could turn around right there, okay? If you see that, even if you might not even see that, right? You might see this first, then you see it, then you go up. That would be quick, too. I don't know if you have the volatility for that. Unless you get back above 20 for a second. Good stuff. Keep the pathways lower going. It's just dry. I'm going to do this. And this. And this. And damn, I've seen a lot of people post purchases of GME. That's kind of wild. Like institution purchases. And meanwhile, GME, it's going to follow the market till it's not. What a statement. You're right, John. Remember, what is good for you is not always good for a company. It doesn't mean it's bad for a company, but what is good for you is different for what is good for a stock. Right? That's a very good thing. That's the job market conversation that we had just, I think, this morning, right? Maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember. This is why you're seeing so much pushback on tariffs and trying to bring jobs back to the United States. Rich people, companies, they still want that wage gap to continue. Always. They want it to always continue. They always want it to continue so that you can own nothing once they make AI robots and you can sit in your home and get fat and be a little guy in a scooter like Wall-E. Why do you think they've been feeding you poison? Have you seen those? I don't know. My wife showed me something. I don't have TikTok, but she showed me some like aliens, some guys that dress up as aliens. I thought that was funny. Damn, this is your God, don't want to see this. As long as it's a nice scooter for lunch. It was great. I can't wait for my personal robot. I mean, you're already using AI to think. People aren't thinking for themselves anymore. Used to just be Ask Google. Now it's Ask AI. AI does the whole thing for you. It does all of the thinking. You don't even have to think of the question. Uh, uh, uh. Yeah, all right, all right, all right. Yeah, make the new high though, Spy. Then we'll know where you're trying to go. Last 10 minutes here. Make the new high. I'll hold my line right there for a bit. Make the new high. That's what you need. Pretty much. Anything above 589.09. I usually like to see like at least like 10 cents above it, but the 1 cent above doesn't really give me too much confidence, but do not trade freedom for convenience, folks. That's the lesson of the 2000s. You are a cell phone driven, commercial driven, consumer minded. That's why I just don't buy stuff. I literally just don't buy stuff. You know how much money I save just by not buying stuff? It's awesome. You know how much money I save by just saying, all right, I watched the show I wanted to on Netflix. Now I don't see a show coming out that I like for another 6 months, so I'm not paying them $15, $17 a month for no commercials. Gore. You are correct. You are correct. So that's funny. Nothing's ever black and white. The pendulum is not, the edges are never the right place to be. That is right. You are correct. You are correct, sir. I need that spike to happen in the other direction. Well, this is just, give it time. We'll tell you if it's worrisome. That's a boom. That does mean we tested into the bottom. We failed to make the new low. Now we have to see if we make a at least a new high from this one. But really, you want a new high all the way up towards that 589.09. Might fake out overnight. There's not, yeah, exactly. There's nothing here yet. We'll wait. We'll be patient. And even if it does go up, who cares? I'm still just being patient, right? Chilling. They should make an icy drink at McDonald's called the McChillin', and the machine's always broken. Sounds pretty dope. So far, not even the new high in the trend. We'll see. McDonald's is cooked, and I'm here for it. Used to be a great thing. The problem that McDonald's has, if you really want to talk about the specific problem, is they can't outsource their labor. They can't outsource their labor to China like everyone else. That's why they have so much problems. Don't bet against Ronald. Have you ever seen that video? Have you ever seen the evil Ronald McDonald video? Where like a kid shows up and he oh god, it's horrible, but it's so funny. Please, someone out there knows what I'm talking about. Where like Ronald McDonald like punches a little kid because he eats a burger that's not from McDonald's. It's one of the funniest things ever. It's when the internet was like still really, really actually like funny. Like when skits were actually funny. Mr. Oyster's seen it. That video's gory. It's like, what you eating there, Billy? What you eating there, Billy? Nothing to worry about too much yet. Scared me when I was a kid. I was not a kid when that came. Actually, I think I was like, maybe I was in high school or something. Oh, early YouTube. Used to watch all those Batman, like Badman videos. That's so funny. Gravitated towards a more bougie feel. I think their downfall started when they started trying to elevate the class of food, serving the same trash. Yeah, you'd say a limited menu is usually better for restaurants. Oh yeah, that's what Todd knows what it is. That's what's up. I mean, 2,600 buying and selling Tesla options today. Hell yeah, Frank. Good job. Nice job. Kudos. Oh, we'll give him his credit once. Richard. I've been sitting, waiting, wishing we didn't make a new high. Even here, that's actually not very good. You didn't even make the new high there. See if it can, but they need a break of this. They need a break of this. Probably tomorrow. We probably want a gap beneath these levels if we can. Post, aftermarket, anything can happen. VIX starting to spike. There you go. We want the new high from VIX. I'll keep it up on my other screen. NVIDIA trying to test those highs again. VIX, where the fuck is VIX? Okay, there it is. Come on, VIX. Come on, VIX. I'm in way too big of a time frame there. I would love a close at like 19 to end the day. Just a spike down. I don't know if we get it though. I need hood to pull back. I'll take a look at hood on my other screen real quick. I mean, that's a 30-minute pullback. I think it could pull back more. Let's see the 2-hour. Yeah, I'd still be waiting for the 2-hour pullback. The 30-minute can extend the move though for hood. If you see a cross up there, you're not losing anything too critical. The 2-hour, I think your opportunity is better towards that gap at 54.74. Best case is you retrace the entire move down to like $50. Yeah, there's a gap there too. $50. I don't know if you get all that. I would really just be watching the 54.50 level. They're already starting to come down in bigger cities as far as housing prices. Bigger cities are seeing some are seeing rent slashes. Mark's like fight, fight, fight. I will say if you're trading and you need other people, it's never a good thing. It's just that's in anything, right? If you're doing things for likes, doing things, you want your happiness to come from within and within your bubble, within your family and things like that. The people who matter to you. Random people on the internet should never be your source of positivity. Housing spiked again. I think you will see another spike in housing. I just don't think it'll be just yet. I think you'll see a spike into 2026, but I think you'll run into the same thing where like just people are not wanting to buy new houses because of rates, maybe, and People are, and then you're going to see all of a sudden it shift, and you're going to see a lot more houses come on the market. Oof, yeah, Dennis. Rough. You might get some luck here. All right, so we didn't see any pathway higher for the day. If anything, we keep seeing the pathway lower, but this market can do crazy things, man. So what we're looking for here is still being patient for potentially a 2-hour pullback would be best case scenario. It could be sharp and it could be quick. So something that I would be watching, maybe even tomorrow, is looking at the 4-hour chart for the SPX 500 and seeing if that just gives you more curvature, more curves, right, to give you those levels. Oh, shoot, battery's low again. We got to charge that before I make my video. What we're looking for here is still a pullback going into tomorrow. I think that would... that is definitely still the most probable thing. Obviously, you know by now that the market is not doing the most probable things right now. So just be aware of that. This sideways day could be all you get. The VIX actually got it wrong. VIX had an up day, which is kind of right, but the SPY did not necessarily get a down day, which is very interesting. So it technically got that stat wrong this time, one of those 15% times. And you see how price is just lackluster during when it fails. So very interesting. The two zones to pay attention to, we will talk about more and more tonight, okay? So we will be talking about those. In tonight's video, we will give you the updated red lines, the daily expected moves. Change these to white, that way you guys aren't confused or anything like that. But yeah, we will be looking for the second standard deviation as well. So I will give that level as a just in case, just so you have it on your charts. That way you know, like if you see something really ugly, you have that 95% line and you still understand this is very bullish context for the time being. We're just talking about a pullback and kind of building into Friday, building into the 21st, or building into next Friday for this trap to be shown. I think that trap is going to take place right up here. That's where I think it's going to take place. But we'll see how it shapes up over the next few sessions, and we'll read into it in tonight's YouTube video, talking about risk, talking about reward, doing all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I will see you guys later. We will see you guys on YouTube, get you guys the daily expected moves for the SPY and the Qs, maybe look at some other stocks to see what kind of levels to pay attention to. We'll just do that for this video tonight. Just more areas to pay attention to for an opportunity, okay? That way we can get through a bunch of those stocks pretty quickly. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing, giving donations at the end of the day. Appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic evening. Go get some good food. Go work out. Go get reset for tomorrow when all this starts back up, because we got a lackluster day today. Hey, we could see a little bit more craziness tomorrow. Peace out, guys. I'll see you in the morning, and I'll see you later on YouTube. Peace out.